How's it going, everybody? Barrett here with Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing and talking about the brand new Tonewinner 11-channel budget amplifier. The price of this beast comes in under all the competition, but it also boasts some impressive output numbers, so I'm excited to see what it has to offer in its price range. And I know that there was a lot of you out there interested in the budget Tonewinner AD-8300 13.3 channel processor. I do have that in-house right now, and I will be doing an updated review, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. Okay, so first things first, I just want to say a special thank you to Amir over at Summit Hi-Fi for sending me this amplifier for review. You guys, I've been shopping with Amir even since before I had a YouTube channel, and he's been the same guy since day one. Excellent customer service. He's just really down to earth, a really great guy to deal with. Coming up in just a minute, we will be talking about the price, the specs, and my first impressions after hooking up this amplifier. But first, we need to get it out of the box and show you guys what it all comes with. I'm really excited to see what this amplifier has to offer, especially given its price, which we're going to talk about in just a minute here. But let's get it out of this box here and see what she looks like. All right, so we got a nice, thick power cable along with a 12-volt trigger cable. So that's nice to see that they include that in there. And there's something else in here. Oh, this is so it also comes with rack ears. I believe this is rack ears. Let's find out. Sure feels like rack ears. Yeah, so these are mounting brackets for your rack. Very nice for them to include that as well, especially for a budget amplifier. I like to see that. And then other than that, we got some styrofoam. You have a little bit of a manual. All right, there's the amplifier, guys. It's actually pretty heavy. We'll cover the specs here in a bit. And there's the front of the amplifier. I like how clean this is. It's just a nice thick front plate of brushed aluminum, it looks like, with just one button, the logo, and the model number. I like how simple it is. No need to complicate it. Looks good. Now that it's out of the box, I was very impressed by the look and feel of this amplifier. If I didn't tell you the price, I don't think that you would guess that it's less expensive than the competition. And just for your information, the commercial units will come double boxed. My unit is a review unit, so it just came single boxed. So what does this 11-channel beast cost? The current pricing at the time of this recording anyway is only $1,775 US or 2,250 Canadian. Now that is one heck of a price for an 11-channel amplifier. To help put it into perspective, the other budget conscious 11 channels like the Monolith 11 is $2,499 US and the Movavi 11 channel is $2,199 US. Even though they are both considered budget options, they still come in significantly higher than the Tonewinner, which is no small feat for Tonewinner. And I personally believe that if you put them all side by side, you would be just as impressed with the Tonewinner build quality as you would by the Monolith or the Movavi. But of course, build quality isn't everything, so let's talk about some specs. The model number for the Tonewinner 11 channel is the AD-8300, which is going to be difficult to repeat and say because it's the AD-8300, so I'm just going to be referring to it as the 8300 from here forward. But it measures in at 17 inches wide, 7.75 inches high, 18.5 inches deep, and weighs in at 45 pounds. The Tonewinner splits the channels up just like Monoprice and Movavi, so the front LCR channels put out more wattage than the rest of the channels that would be used for surround channels and your heights. And when it comes to the wattage output, the website provides some excellent details, but we will just go with the 2-channel driven as well as all channels driven. So with 2 channels driven, we are looking at 320 watts for any of the front LCR channels or 150 watts for the rest of the channels into 8 ohms. And with all channels driven, we are looking at 240 watts per channel for the LCR and 105 watts per channel for the remaining 8 channels into 8 ohms. So it will have plenty of power for even the most demanding of speakers. But for those of you looking for 4 ohm ratings, click the link below to head to the website. It lists all the details there, but this unit does put out some very impressive numbers into 4 ohms as well. And just like the competition, while putting out these wattage numbers, the 8300 keeps the distortion levels below 0.1%. The topology is a Class AB, and it's using a switching Class H power supply. In case you are unfamiliar, this is the same technology used in the Movavi amps. It makes the amp more efficient and helps keep it cooler than linear power supply. But to help keep things even cooler, the unit does have 2 small fans on each side. I've had this unit in my rack for just over a week now, and I've never once heard the fans. I should be able to report back more on the official review, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But before this video, I did crank everything up and I put it on multi-channel, so all the speakers were being driven for some music, and I cranked it up, and I never once heard the fans come on, so every once in a while I'd pause the music and go listen, and I never once heard the fans, so I'm not sure if they just don't come on very often or if they're just that quiet. But either way, I don't see this being a problem, especially if you're going to be putting putting it in a rack. If you guys are looking for more detailed specs, Summit Hi-Fi's done a wonderful job listing those on the website, and I've dropped that link down in the description below. All right, so let's take a look at the outside of the unit. I like the fact that Tonewinner kept things clean and simplistic on the front. All we have is the front button, the logo, and the model number, and I do like this look. Although amplifiers with a nice lit VU meter sure can look pretty in a rack, there's also something to be said about a simple black brushed aluminum faceplate, which we have here. The top is pretty simple as well. There's just some venting holes, and the sides have venting holes along with two fans hiding behind each of them on either side. Moving around to the back, which is where all the business is, we have an unbalanced RCA input and a balanced XLR input for all 11 channels. We also have 11 gold-plated 5-way binding posts. Other than that, we have a 12-volt trigger input and output for daisy chaining, anything that you would need on a 12-volt trigger, and the power plug port as well as a reset button. All in all, it looks very well built, and Tonewinner kept things very simple, giving you all the things that you need on the amplifier and leaving out all the things that you don't need. My first impressions on the build quality are simple. As I briefly mentioned already, the build quality is fantastic. Everything fits snug, there is no loose inputs, the front baffle is solid aluminum and looks very well machined with its brushed finish. The 8300 has some nice heft to it, but without being overly heavy or cumbersome, and this is a common trait of the Class AB topology with a Class H power supply. I like a good heavy beefy amplifier as much as the next guy. As a matter of fact, I do have two 93-pound Tonewinner stereo amplifiers on my front stage, but when it comes to the amplifiers I put in my rack, I prefer them a little on the lighter side. Alright, so let's talk first impressions on sound quality. First of all, I noticed that the noise floor is nice and quiet. There's no buzzing, no loud hissing when connected to my Sonus Faber Sonetto 8 speakers. Other than that, this amplifier does exactly what it is designed to do, and it does it very well. I don't find the amplifier to have any coloration of the sound, at least based on my first impressions. It seems very neutral. This amplifier truly does have some solid power for dynamics, and it served me very well for both music and movies. It performs very well in its own right, and when taking the price into consideration, it's even more impressive. I like the fact that Summit Hi-Fi is open and transparent with the wattage numbers and provides everything from one channel to all channels driven on the website, so the specs are fantastic for the price. At this point in time, I have zero hesitations recommending this amplifier for anybody looking for a great budget option to power up to 11 channels, and when taking the price into account, it only makes my recommendation more enthusiastic. But do make sure that you stay tuned for the full review in the coming weeks. To do that, make sure that you subscribe, tick the bell icon if you do, and please take just one short second to hit that like button. I always do appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel using the Patreon link down in the description, or by clicking the join or thanks button right below this video. Remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.